Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps. Today I created 2 seashell wreath cards using the brand new Lovely Layers Seashore. Now here is that die, and I've already die cut all of my shells from white cardstock. I did 3 of each shell, and there's 3 shells. And I'm going to be using Copic markers to color these with, and I will have the caps here so you can see what it is I'm doing. I looked up online these seashells to kind of see what they look like, and this one here has a lot of different colors. I think this is called the turban shell, I think. But then I saw one that was like, had like kind of a tealish blue, and I just knew I had to color that. Also, when this came out, I about died over this because I love a seashell anything. I absolutely love the beach, and this is like, I have seashells all over my whole house, huge ones, just beautiful seashells. So to do these cards was so much fun. My original plan was to just create 1 card, but I had 3 seashells left over, and it took so long to color them that I didn't want them to go to waste. Now, my idea for a seashell wreath is because if I lived by the beach or on the beach or whatever, I would absolutely have seashell wreaths everywhere. So that was my inspiration for this card. So I have created 2 different kinds of wreaths because, again, I had so many seashells. And so I'm going to show you how I am going to be putting that together here in just a little bit. I'm also using the brand new vitamin C paper pad. This is larger paper pads. These are the first ones that Honeybee Stamp has made of this size. They're 6 inches by 8.5 inches, you guys. So that means those paper pads can be used for slimline cards. I made 2 square cards today that measure 5 inches by 5 inches, so this paper pad was perfect. Okay, so this is the conch shell, and I have one of these, and I literally brought it out into my craft room when I was coloring these so I could have a good idea of what I was looking for. Of course, it's got that beautiful pink inside, which I think just makes those shells stand out so gorgeous. And then it's kind of a cream and yellow and a little bit of pink on the outside. Now, these are part of the Lovely Layers collection for Honeybee Stamps, and as you have seen, all the beautiful flowers, and there's greenery and things like that. So this one has 3 layers. That first seashell that we colored had 2 layers. This one has 3 layers, and then the next one also has 3 layers, which just really makes this a lot of fun to color. Now, something I did notice, only because I used foam tape between all my layers, I probably should have colored all of the layers and not left any white, just added a little color at least around the edges. Not that it's the end of the world, but because I popped it up on foam tape, some angles you can see a little bit of that white cardstock. So I would suggest that if you're going to use foam tape between your layers, just add color to everything, and then just add your details to the parts that are going to be showing. So I'm just going to finish coloring this one. I've colored the rest of my seashells off camera because, like I said, for each seashell, I did 3 of them. So it did take a minute to color, but I really enjoyed it, again, because I just absolutely adore seashells. So it was just a lot of fun to see them come together. And then this next one, I think, is called a spotted seashell, which was really super simple. So I just laid down that base color, and then I'm coming in and just tracing the etched marks in the die. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of a lighter brown and color that in. So really super, super simple. This seashell here went the quickest as far as coloring all 3 of them. So I'm going to add that to the center, and then I will come back in with that other color that I just colored the base with and kind of go in between the lines one more time just to kind of soften up the edges, add a little bit more color. And then now we have that seashell. Super, super, super pretty. And like I said, I die cut this. Actually, I didn't say. I die cut this from Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock, 100 pound. I like that weight, and it is Copic friendly. Okay, so here's how we're going to put them together. Like I said, I wanted foam tape. I really wanted these seashells to be 3D. So when you line these up, you can just, I mean, this is self-explanatory as far as lining them up goes. And you're just going to match the edges and put them in place. And look at how cute. They just look like real seashells. I love them. I have all of these types of seashells in my home, which I'm just absolutely in love with. But I didn't want to go dig through some of my seashell stuff to find these smaller ones, so I looked up photos online. Okay, so those are put together. Then in that Lovely Layers Seashore die, this is the dune grass. It has a little bit of kind of the straw color at the base, and then of course it's green. I think it also probably depends on what time of year you're at the beach, I would assume. But I definitely wanted some green. This is going to be the greenery on our wreaths. So I'm just going to ink blend with antique linen, and I believe this is FAIRWAY ink from Simon Says Stamped. Excuse me. And the antique linen was a distress oxide ink. And I actually colored 6 of these, but I did the other 3 off camera. So here's the beautiful vitamin C paper pad. I have trimmed down my 2 pieces that I'm going to use to 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Then I'm using the Circlescapes shaker frames. Those are brand new, and I die cut 2 frames for that. Obviously, I'm not making a shaker for this card. And then the sentiments are from the Seize the Day stamp set, and I prepped my cardstock with a powder tool. I used Honeybee Stamp's clear embossing ink, and then I'm using some gold embossing powder. I will heat that until it's melted and then use the coordinating die to die cut them out, because you know Honeybee Stamps is fabulous this way. I love having dies for my sentiments. It just is so fantastic. So I'm going to tape those in place and run that through my die cut machine. Now, when I die cut the Circlescapes shaker frames, I die cut that from a really light craft cardstock. I did not want it to be white, but I also kind of wanted it to fade away, because you will see it on one of the cards. I have my 5 by 5 inch card base from white cardstock. I adhered my patterned paper to that, and then I'm just going to add some foam tape behind each one of these circles, because I want that to have some dimension. So I'm just trimming down some of my foam tape, peeling back the release paper, which allows you to bend your foam tape into a circle. So I'm going to do that for both of my cards. Even though these wreaths will look different, I do want both of the wreaths to pop up. Then I'm going to center that in my card panel. I'm going to do that for the next one. Again, both of these are die cut from a really light craft cardstock. It almost has a kind of cream color to it, but obviously you could do white. I think vellum also would be really, really pretty. If you really wanted to like class it up, you could do like a mirror cardstock, like a gold mirror cardstock or something like that. I think that would be really, really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to center that one, and as you can see, the beautiful pattern paper, this one is wood planks, and the other one looks like little ocean waves, which I love. So this was my add-on card. This was not my original idea, and I thought, you know, I'm going to do a wreath with just some of the stuff focused on one side. So I'm going to adhere this dune grass. I've got 3 pieces of this. I'm going to have one at the bottom here, and then the other 2 going up the side. So just be a little bit heavier, and then we can adhere the seashells on top of this and just kind of have everything on that bottom left corner. I'm going to put that conch shell like in the center, and then we've got this beautiful little turquoise shell that I'm gonna pop this one up with foam tape. And because it's just a little bit flatter, it doesn't have quite as many dimensions. The conch shell, I will have a little bit of foam tape, but the other one I didn't feel like needed. I feel like it was tall enough. So I'm going to adhere those down, and then we can move on to the next one. I was just trying to decide how that shell should go, but I just really loved how this looked, and I feel like those shells pop off of that wood planked background. Now this one is going to be a complete wreath. It's going to go all the way around, and I'm using 2 of each shell, and I've got 3 of the dune grass, and I'm just going to use some liquid glue to adhere that down. I don't need those to have any dimension. And then I can add the shells in between. If you wanted obviously more of a grass feel, then I would say do 2 more and have, or 3 more and have them overlap. So you would need total of 6 pieces of those. But I really wanted it more seashell heavy and then just a little bit of that greenery around. So I'm just going to place my shells around so I can get a good spacing between all of them. I am not adding foam tape behind these. I'm just using some liquid glue to hold those in place. I really want to make sure these don't move once this is dry. And liquid glue is just stronger than a tape runner. So I've got my last one here that I'm going to finish putting down. And once those are dry, then this card is just easy to move around. I'm going to add my sentiments with foam tape. This one says, friends are like seashells we collect along the way. And then this one says, he calms the storms and stills the waves, which I think is so, so pretty. And then having that pop of gold is so lovely. Okay, this card has the reflection dewdrops, and I'm going to put a ton of those around. There is quite a few different sizes, which I really love. And this just felt, they're really almost have an iridescent look to it, but I wanted it to be like water droplets. That was the look I was going for that one. And I lost one of them, so I had to pull out another one and put that in place. And of course I'm using Honeybee Stamps Bee Precision glue to adhere these. And that will dry clear, so you will not see that through the dewdrops. Then for the other card, I'm using the Oceanside dewdrops, which I just love. There is teal, like a tan color, and then a white. I did not use any of the white, and I just did a few of these around the wreath. So now that those are done, you can really see the detail in these seashells, the dimension, having the dimension behind the wreath itself, the circle part, just adds a lot of interest to your card. And then of course the beautiful patterned paper in the background. I just want to thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching, and I hope that you feel inspired by this project, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will be back soon with another video. Bye!